Hello my friends, welcome back, welcome to Living on the Edge. I'm very excited to see you here. Today we're going to talk about the beautiful Celebrity Beyond and my experience on it for the past almost 2 weeks. It's been very interesting back-to-back journey, and without keeping you waiting any longer, let's begin. So I will start with, of course, what we all always begin our cruise with, and this would be my embarkation day. It's probably for all of us the most exciting day about the cruise because finally this day has arrived. You know, we always waited for that cruise and here it is. So how did that go? So in my personal case, for this particular cruise, I took the Brightline from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale, where this cruise disembarked from. For me, it's a great opportunity to enjoy the train, which you probably saw my post about that, and it went very smooth. Time-wise, pretty much the same thing as taking the flight, probably if you go from Orlando to Miami or even Fort Lauderdale in some cases, but it's more easy and you don't need to be at the airport longer like normally with the flights. You can pretty much show up 20-30 minutes before your train, you will be fine. But yeah, I arrived at the port after everything with a Brightline and Uber. I arrived probably, I would say, around 11 o'clock, and the process was very, very smooth. One thing I will have to say that, and this is something I keep encountering every time I'm in this particular port for a Celebrity from Fort Lauderdale in Terminal 25. I don't know why, however, there is one item that always been flagged in the security, and if you'll give me a second, I'll show you what it is. Just a moment. Here we are. So the item is actually this beauty, this bad boy. And what is it? It's actually a refillable container for a perfume. Nothing really special. I'm sure most of us have those. It looks a little bit like a lipstick. However, it's basically the spray container, very, very small. And you basically refill your perfume into that. So you don't have, you know, to carry the 100 ml or whatever, especially if you fly over. But for whatever reason, every time I'm on Terminal 5 in Fort Lauderdale, this item being flagged for security, and then I'm being stopped for checking my carry-on. So yeah, if any of you actually carrying one of those, and if you're going through that terminal, just keep in mind that you might want to either maybe take it out or tell the security team what it is, because they seem to be very confused about what that is. But yeah, aside that, that was a very, very smooth process, and I have to say that probably by maybe 11:20 or so, I was already on board, which was wonderful. And of course, you know, the process is always pretty much easy and, you know, straightforward. You have to go to your master station. Mine was, I think it was deck 4 at one of the restaurants. That's a very quick process. You just go there, show your room card. They will tell you that in case of emergency, you have to show up there. And yeah, and then with Celebrity, one thing I mention always, one of the things I really enjoy is that even though the rooms are not exactly ready for when you board in, especially if it's 11 a.m. or early, they do allow you to head to your room and to just drop your luggage, or if you had any carry-on, things like that. Makes it very, very convenient because from that point on, you dropped your luggage, you dropped your bags, and you're free to go and start enjoying your cruise. So that was wonderful. I appreciate that. Great job, Celebrity, as always. Keep doing that. I hope that your sister companies can follow the same thing. But yeah. Now, with, I think, around 1:30, the rooms were ready. My room for, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, but this cruise again is back-to-back. So the first 8 nights is actually ABC Islands, Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire. And then it's another 6 nights, and it's a little bit different cruise. It's actually going to Coco Cay, which is the Royal Caribbean island. It goes to Grand Cayman, and then Bimini. So yeah, that's different to itineraries, which makes it very nice if you would like to have a longer stay on board. And if you, for example, for 2 weeks here, you have a different itinerary, you don't have to do the same thing back to back. So with that being said, my first 8 nights were in the balcony room, but it's what's called the Infinite Veranda. You definitely will have links on this video below for my review about that beautiful room. The room is pretty similar to what you guys see behind me. The rooms are pretty much identical, I would say, from different categories, even though this one is different. But the layout is pretty much same, the decor very similar. I do enjoy that Celebrity has different color scheme, and this is very cute. It's very subtle, nothing too strong, but there's a different color scheme to every room, and I'm not sure if it's depends on the floor, the deck you're on, or section on the boat. But for example, my first room had more of a yellow accents, which you see all those orange pillows, so that was all yellow on the first 8 nights. When I started my second itinerary, second cruise, those were basically the orange, the red color. So yeah, you have a little bit different feeling to your room. I do enjoy that. Now, that being said, the infinite veranda, I have a lot of comments from you guys, from some who love those rooms and some who really dislike them and everything in between. For me, I still can't really make up my mind. And the reason is because I do enjoy the extra room, the extra feeling it gives you when you have this infinite veranda, because that whole space of the veranda is basically now inside of your room and it extends the length of your room. That being said, I personally am losing the feeling of an actual balcony, of a veranda in those rooms. So if I'm planning, for example, on just chilling on my balcony outside, outdoors, without, sharing the main deck with other people and stuff like that, I don't have this feeling, unfortunately, in those infinite veranda rooms. Doesn't mean those rooms are not wonderful and great. Just for me, it's not probably my favorite go-to. Now, if we will put aside for a second that preference, there's another alternative, of course, for everything, and my other 6 nights are in what's called the sunset veranda. The sunset veranda, as I mentioned before, the room itself is very, very similar, as you can see behind me, so they look pretty much the same. However, you have this very, very big deck in front of you, and those are the rooms that face in the back of the ship. So you get to see, I'm not sure how you call it, the wake tail, the foam tail behind the ship. It's very nice. The sunsets, when it's positioned the right way, are very, very nice. So it's very, very cute place to be in. And I also enjoy, and this is again a huge thanks to Celebrity, that they chose on those sunset verandas, because they have slightly more extended space on their balcony, they chose to include tanning a sunbed on each and one of them. So you basically get a little bit extra amenity and this ability to just enjoy and maybe catch some sun and enjoy your room a little bit more than the regular infinite verandas. Now, enough about rooms, of course, and let's talk about what is we all, well, at least some of us, are here for the cruise, and it's one of the most exciting parts for. That would be the food. And this time, I will say that I was a little bit adventurous compared to what I'm usually going for. And normally, and I'm sure you guys know that, I'm not really a big visiting the main dining. For me, especially after the pandemic, main dining normally, it's not the best use of my time, in my opinion. Again, not for everyone. The offerings, hit or miss on most cruise lines. And for that reason, I kept myself in avoiding going for main dining for probably, I would say, almost a year. I did visit main dinings here and there on different cruise lines, including Celebrity. I think it was on Celebrity Apex, once in November, once in March. Again, same was experience, was not thrilled about it, nothing terrible, but nothing great. This time, at least the first 8 nights, I opted for the option of visiting every single main dining room. Now, on Celebrity, when you opt for the option of my time dining, which means basically you don't choose your late dining or early dining, you basically can show up in the restaurant whenever you would like. You can do it in any restaurant. And there are 4 of those, so you can basically decide, today I want to go to the Normandy, which is more French, or today I would like to go to the Mediterranean one. For the most part, I have to say, the decor, of course, is different. They design a little bit different. Don't want to break a surprise for you guys, but yeah. The menu is mostly the same in all main dining rooms. Now, it of course depends and varies on the day, but for the most parts, you can order basically the same items from the same menu, no matter which dining room you decided to attend to. That being said, every dining room would have a certain area in the menu, which basically for specific items that are specific and special just for that dining room. And this is what, for the most parts, I went to because I wanted to experience how different they are and what's the quality of the food. Now, I have to say and admit that I was wrong because this time the food was actually really, really good. I enjoyed the service for the 99.9% of the time visiting, and it was really, really good. At no point I felt that, oh my God, why didn't I book specialty dining or stuff like that? It was wonderful. Food was great. The variety of options were really, really nice, especially for 8 nights. There were restaurants that I came back twice, like Normandy. Service was outstanding, perhaps even better than some of the specialty dinings that I did before. So Celebrity Beyond definitely did great on that end. Now, for the other 6 nights, I decided, and this is my one, the day before the last. So this time I decided not to go for any specialty dining. I decided not to go for any main dining, but I'm given a full chance for the buffet on deck 14. And I have to say again, and I'm trying to compare apples to apples. I have been on Apex twice for the past 12 months, and I'm Beyond, and from my understanding, similar ships, sister ships. And I have to say that my options for food, and especially healthy options, are absolutely outstanding on Beyond. I'm very, very pleased with the food offerings, the freshness of the food, and how everything went. So no complaints there other than a huge thank, and I think it's really wonderful. One of my personal favorites for, I shouldn't say free dining, but a dining that's included with your fare, is your coffee shop. Well, it's not coffee shop, it's basically your healthy option in Eden. So the Eden on deck 5, which of course has the Eden restaurants that's upscaled as specialty dining, also has a bar, but there is also an option for breakfast and lunch in Eden for no additional cost. Now, that offerings, and I never tried the breakfast because it's way too early for me, you know me guys, but for the lunch, I loved it. The variety of health options that are actually tasty, it's amazing. You have salads, you have more organic options, you have different sandwiches. You know, I'm all about Mediterranean food, so there were like pita with tuna salads, and there were, I think, roquefort and leaves or something like that. So yeah, it might sound very strange for some if this is not the type of food you prefer, but I really enjoy that, and I think it's open on the sea days, so make sure you make some time to enjoy that. They open for lunch, I think, between 12 o'clock, and if I'm not mistaken, it's either 1:30 or 2 p.m. So make sure to be there. It's a great area to enjoy it. Of course, in the environment of Eden, which is a beautiful, beautiful place. But yes, the offerings are outstanding. Alrighty, so we spoke about food, we spoke about the rooms, and I think it's time to speak about the bar and the drinks. And I don't have a drink right now, but I have one of those babies that I really like. But yes, bars on Beyond, in my opinion, are great for the most part. I think that I really enjoy the higher end options of drinks that you have here, compare again to the sister companies that Celebrity has. I'm not saying it's necessarily not great, but I think that here it's a little bit more upscale. That being said, and it will be one of my recommendations for you guys, if you opted for drinks package, depends if you splurge for the deluxe or not. If you order your drink, I would probably mention the type of alcohol or the brand you would like to be used in it. Because if you would not, let's say for example, one of my favorite drinks that I enjoy is in the martini bar, it's called a lychee martini. If you wouldn't mention that, for example, you would like your lychee martini being made with Grey Goose or something like that, you probably will be ultimately offered, or your drink will be made with a little bit lower end product. Now, you probably didn't pay for the deluxe drink package to enjoy that level of drinks. And again, I'm not trying to be rude or say anything was wrong, but just make sure that you mention to the team, to the bar team, what you like and what you would like to have. I never experienced a situation where they wouldn't accommodate. They sometimes would tell you, hey, listen, we don't have this. However, we have something comparable. So they're very attentive. They're very listening. There were even one time when I really didn't like the drink that was made. And this is fine. You can tell them and no questions asked. It will be remade. And I really, really enjoyed the bar service. What I also appreciate about Celebrity is that aside from having some virgin options, non-alcoholic cocktails and stuff like that, they also have quite a few nice options besides regular sodas. And as I mentioned before, for example, San Pellegrinos, this is something you have. And with Celebrity, you have both. You have San Pellegrino and Perrier, if that's your preference. But you also have San Pellegrino with different flavors. So there are quite a few different options, even if you don't drink alcohol necessarily. So yes, this is a very nice, I feel, benefits and offer from Celebrity. And again, if you choose to opt for the deluxe packages, that's great. It all, of course, depends how much you drink and how usually you consume your drinks. For me personally, with cruising so often, I usually just opt for, several drinks if I need to buy them during the day. It just makes more sense to me. But yes, no matter which way you will go, whether it's purchasing your packages or whether it's going by glass, I think the service is going to be outstanding because it is what it is. It's Celebrity. The variety is absolutely there. My only wish is that I would say in the pool area and the solarium area, I would like to see a little bit more waiters or bartenders walking around. Sometimes you just would like to stay in your pool and hoping that you would have the service of somebody stopping by and offer you a new drink to order. So yeah, Celebrity, if you listen, this would be nice if we could have a little bit more people walking around just, helping to make those orders. Alrighty, friends. So we ate, we drank, we enjoyed our rooms. Let's talk about what we do at night. And with that, let me start with mentioning, first of all, a few stars of that ship. And for me, first of all, and probably for most, it was Captain Leo. I'm usually not talking about the crew like that, but I have to say that this time I was very impressed by the fact that we faced a very significant storm. A storm that actually affected some parts of the country and a storm that actually had some other cruise line cancel their itineraries. We were in the middle of the ocean with Captain Leo navigating this just an outstanding way. I would have to say that maybe other than one day during those whole 8 nights, the first 8 nights of the cruise, nobody felt anything with bad weather and everybody could keep enjoying their vacation. Yes, some adjustments had to be made. For example, our first port, and I think it was first and the second, were changed in their itinerary, but this was all made just to ensure that everybody have amazing vacation and maximize the time. He was also always around. You could always see Captain Leo, on deck 5, at the restaurants, at the bars. He would interact with guests, answer any questions they had, explain the situation, tell about the future plans, how we're going to avoid it, what's going to happen, and it was just outstanding. He actually starts his introduction on day 1 with saying, "Hey, I'm your captain, and your wish is my command." And as cliche it might sound, I have to say that with his behavior and what I actually experienced from being on this ship for almost 2 weeks, that's exactly how I felt. People are here paying the best of their money to enjoy their vacations that they're waiting for a very long time. And sometimes there are things that happen like weather and things that are really not dependable on the cruise line or anything else. It's not for anybody's fault. And there are people like Captain Leo who actually made sure that your vacation is still happening, it is not interrupted, and it still was done the best way possible. So thank you for that. Thank you very much, Captain Leo. It was a definite real pleasure of making those 2 weeks with you. And the second person would be the cruise director, Alexa. And I have to say that Alexa it's probably like your best friend on board. She might never met you, she might never knew who you are, but if ever you met Alexa just walking around or after the show or anything, it's like your best friend that was waiting for you all their life just to say hi. She was incredible with informing everybody about every show coming either that day or the next day. Any changes like time change or things that usually cruise director would do, but everything was done in a very friendly, easygoing, and very, how should I say it, very nice and friendly vibe. So thank you very much, Alexa, for being you, and I hope to see you soon in maybe another adventure. Well, friends, we spoke about the big people on board, the captain, the cruise director. I think it's time to talk about what we all doing at night or where we're going out. So let's talk about the entertainment team. First of all, I have to say that there are on board 3 major productions. They're all wonderful. I have to say that they are a little bit, in my opinion, higher end than I'm usually used even from Royal Caribbean, who are very well known for their Broadway stage productions. But yes, that was wonderful, and I have to mention the very one special show. It's called Elements. It was so good this time that I actually took myself to see it 3 times. And many of you knows that I actually don't like to repeat things, but the show was incredible. The vocal, talented gifts you can see there on stage are beyond my words. Everybody extremely talented. It's a beautiful show. As Alexa said it before, the cruise director, it is something that resembles maybe a little bit of Cirque du Soleil vibe, maybe a little bit of Broadway, and it's all mixed into one with incredible, I would say, effects, especially thinking, well, let's not forget, we are on a cruise ship. But yes, there were incredible effects. There were certain structures, I will not mention too much, that were literally built just for this cruise ship, just for Beyond, and you will never see them anywhere else in the world. You don't want to miss that. The headliner shows were absolutely out there for the most part. I really enjoyed them. We had a magician, we had a singers. Tonight we have a different singer that I didn't see, so hopefully that goes as well. Wonderful. There are quite a few also side shows. And this is something I really enjoy on Celebrity, that is a little bit different than what I'm used to, for example, from Royal. Besides from the main show that you usually would have it twice a day, for example, I think it's 7:30 and 9:30, depends on what works better for you, there are additional shows. There is the cabaret, the jazz cabaret, for example, that usually happens at the club. And this would be, if some of you experience Virgin, the Virgin Cruises, you know that the entertainment there, it's a little bit different. It's less formed, I would say. It's not exactly you have to show in the main theater in such and such time. It's basically different areas at the ship will have different entertainment options. And that's what, in my opinion, that option meant to mimic. So it's basically something that made in a style of a speakeasy, jazzy style, old school, a combination of singing, acrobatic, and a show. Very fun, very easygoing. Yeah, it's nothing to miss, in my opinion, when you're on Beyond. But yes, you do have those options beside being in the production, which maybe you went for 7:30, then you had your dinner, then you can go for another show afterwards. And the same production team will also do a different show in the Eden area as well. So throughout the whole cruise, whether you're on 8 nights, 6, or even 8 back-to-back, which makes it 2 weeks on board, you always have something to do. In my opinion, the productions were on a very high-end level, especially when we're talking about cruise lines. I'm comparing this to Royal Caribbean for the most parts, because this is, I would say, apples to apples. So yes, I was very surprised. Thank you very much, Beyond, for doing that. And yeah, the entertainment is definitely something you don't want to miss on this ship. Okay, friends, we spoke about most of the things on this itinerary, and I think it's a good time to give you some of my recommendations. I made a little bit of my own list here, so I will not forget. But yeah, let's start with a few things that I think you guys should either bring to your cruise with you, or perhaps just something that to make your decision better when you choose your room. And first of all, let's speak about the sunset verandas. The sunset verandas, as you know, as mentioned before, those are facing the back of the ship, and this is basically the whole width of the ship, where you can enjoy the views of the ocean and, you know, this foam tail you have behind the ship. It's wonderful. But this one is actually the one I'm staying in right now. It's on deck 12. Deck 12 is right below deck 14, below the outdoors area for the, I think it's the buffet or whatever you call it. Now, while not being noisy, you know, it's nothing crazy, I do have to say that time to time, and especially in the morning, if you would like to stay longer in bed, you can hear some movement of those chairs on your head, on the ceiling, because they're right above that and their floor is not carpeted. So if you're a light sleeper and if you would like to kind of like make sure that you have a longer mornings, I would probably recommend book at least deck maybe 11, just to go one below, so you can have other guests above you and not that buffet. Now, it's not something that I experienced before because I did stay on Apex and my room also was kind of in the back, but I think it was called one of the concierge rooms. And it was below the buffet, but I didn't hear anything. And perhaps because my room was under the buffet area, which is carpeted, I don't know. But yes, the sunset verandas, I would personally recommend to book it not above deck 11, just to make sure that it's slightly quieter and you don't have that movement of chairs above your head. Now, that being said, about the same room, another thing I want to bring to your attention is that there is a difference, of course, about how those windows build between the infinite verandas, which are the majority of the rooms on the ship, and of course the sunset veranda. Because the infinite veranda has this window that goes up and down, for privacy reasons, to make your room darker, there is actually a privacy screen, and you can see it in one of the videos that I have about that particular balcony. So when you close your curtain or make your mood set it for the night, your room is pretty much pitch dark. So I can assure you that in the morning you probably will not be waking up because of any brighter light in your room. Now, on a counter to that, in the sunset veranda, you have something that we all use very well from different cruise lines. It's more like a regular veranda, and for that reason, you would have a regular curtain. You would have, you know, this wood panel above it that the curtain kind of moves behind. But even though this curtain is definitely, I would say, lightproof or darkening, I'm not sure if it's because it's not long enough all the way to the floor, or maybe it's not wide enough all the way to the sides. For whatever reason, unfortunately, in the morning, I didn't sleep in this room past maybe 8 a.m. because the room was pretty bright. So this is something to keep in mind. Maybe if you want to bring your, I don't know, some, you know, mask on your face, if this is something that you might be bothered by or something like that, but just something to know about the sunset veranda rooms. Now, another thing is your products. And when I'm talking about products, what I'm talking about is your soaps, shampoos, and stuff like that. Now, I did stay on Celebrity in different categories. I do remember that staying on Aqua Class, Concierge, or even Suites. I think you receive one of those Bigelow product companies, which are very nice. It's nothing super high-end, but it's good. I'm not sure, really, what is being provided in the regular rooms, because aside from having the X for the logo of Celebrity, doesn't say much about the products you receive. That being said, and this is again my personal preference, doesn't mean anything, it might be wonderful for you. But I do not enjoy too much the regular products that are actually provided in those rooms. And for that reason, I do highly recommend, when you stay in most of the rooms, if we didn't splurge for any upgrades or, you know, Aqua Class or things like that, I would probably bring your favorite product just to make sure that, you know, you have here what you like, and to make your vacation as more more convenient for you, I would say, as possible. So yeah, this is something I definitely didn't do this time because I'm usually used for the, however you call it, the Bigelow, whatever. But yes, I wish I would. It wasn't the best, unfortunately. But yeah, Celebrity, I think for the premium product you are, I would invest a little bit better in those things. But yeah, that being said, this is still a wonderful room, and aside probably from the standard products, I have nothing really to complain about. The room is wonderful. You even get bathrobes with every single standard room. One thing, guys, I want to show you, you actually get in every, I'm pretty sure it's in every room, you get bags for free. Give me a second. Yes, you get one of those babies every time you are on board, no matter what category room you booked. I'm pretty sure if you're in suites, it's actually going to be even fancier. But yeah, this is a very convenient thing because this is a tote bag right here. Hope you guys can see it. And the tote bag even has inside this, I don't know, wallet or wash bag or whatever. So yeah, this is very convenient. Just, you know, when you go to the beach or anything, you don't have to, well, let's throw it there. You don't have to pack additional bag in your luggage. Save some room for any other stuff you would like to bring, or perhaps shopping you're going to do in your destinations. But yeah, that's very nice to have, and there's quite a few of those extras that are not expected and very nice. Or for example, I think it's for elite members or above or something like that, they provide now something I really like. They provide you flowers. Look, they literally bring you on day 2 this tiny vase with like a rose. It's very sweet. It's nothing, you know, crazy, but it makes you feel very welcomed, and it's very nice. Yeah, come on, who doesn't want to be pampered on your cruise, right? So yeah, just bring your shampoo, and the rest is there, and it's going to be incredible. The beds are actually wonderful. If you prefer your bed on a very soft side, I would maybe think about letting them know if you need the mattress topper or something like that. And the beds are very comfortable, in my opinion. They're not really soft. So it depends what we all prefer. That was about the rooms. What else? Yes, food-wise. For all those who like bread or anything to do with dough or pastry, oh my God, this is probably my hardest things to control myself on cruises. Celebrity, I'm very upset with you. Your bakery is incredible, literally on every single Celebrity cruise ship I've ever been. But beyond, probably is beyond them all. The pain au chocolat or the Nutella croissant every morning, I'm guilty. Every single morning, that's what I had. So yes, I highly recommend, guys. You're on vacation. Come on, just indulge, just have fun. You can find those either on deck 4 at the coffee shop, or of course at the buffet. The variety is endless. You have everything from very, very nice breads to very high-end croissants, which I personally have a very hard time to find this quality in Orlando where I live. But yeah, those are incredible. I highly recommend the pain au chocolat. And of course, the espresso every morning, which you can get either in the coffee shop on deck 4 or on deck 14 in the buffet. Now I think the only thing we left to talk about, guys, is excursions. And I will not dive too deep into excursions, if they're great or not, because this is really, you know, it depends on the excursion, on the provider, and everything you actually had expected for it. That being said, what I do recommend, and this is because I actually made my own mistake, if there's something you see online before your cruise and the price works for you, and whether you see promotion or don't see promotion, but you see the excursion, you liked it, and the price works for you, book it. First of all, anything can be cancelled and refunded, I think if I'm not mistaken, up to 2 or 3 days before your cruise. So you have enough time. But also keep in mind that when you will be on board, for the most part, usually the price will go up. And when I say that, I will just share my personal experience from this particular cruise. I felt a little bit ashamed because this is, you know, with the amount of cruising I'm doing, I should know better. But yes, there is, for example, the adult beach on the Royal Caribbean Cay on the island. And I saw online that it actually said $39 full price, and there was a 20% discount. I wasn't sure at that point of time whether I actually would like to go for this, excursion or to visit that beach or not. So I said, the worst case, I will not enjoy the 20% discount. I'll just book it on board for $39, right? So I didn't book it. And of course, when I boarded the ship, then I decided, of course, that I had to go for the island and enjoy the adult beach. Well, guess what? The price on the app was $99. It's quite a jump from $39 to $99, and I have to say that just because of how bad I felt, I didn't attend to this excursion, this event. But yes, if you see anything online that you would like to pre-book to make your vacation, whether it's with Celebrity or even Royal or any other cruise line, more special, the price works for you, you maybe not even 100% sure about, but you think you probably need it, I would book it, and then you still have time until, well, let's just book it, give ourselves some extra fair time, in our heads. Let's say 5 days before the cruise, you decided that it's too much, maybe you don't want to spend so much or something like that, you can always cancel it. But at least at that given time, you probably got the best deal for yourself and made sure that your vacation, again, is maximized to your own satisfaction. Alrighty, my friends, so that was a lot, I know. I hope we spoke about most of the things that you are interested or were curious about Celebrity Beyond and my 2 weeks that I spent here. Of course, guys, if you have any questions, comments, or anything you would like to share, please do not forget to share and comment below. I always enjoy reading everything you have to say. Do not forget to subscribe because, that's how I do what I do. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. I'm your Hedge.